and welcome to Provoking Tech. I'm Zach, and in today's video, I'm going to be discussing Project XCloud. So XCloud is Microsoft's game streaming technology and service that is expected to launch in 2020. It is part of the Scarlett family of Xbox devices, which are the next generation of Xbox consoles, two of which are expected to be traditional consoles with a very similar setup to how we have the Xbox One S and the Xbox One X currently, with one device being slightly more powerful than the other to be able to render, higher resolution graphics and possibly even higher detailed graphics. So we're expected to see something pretty similar that we have in the current generation with two of the three Scarlett devices. Of course, the third one is very unique, and that is the XCloud quote-unquote device. We do know that they're working on apps for consoles, phones, and PCs, so there's a lot of cool things there. We don't know if there actually will be actual hardware that you can buy locally for XCloud. It's very possible that they might release a streaming stick, something like a Chromecast or something along those lines, something cheap, low cost, that allows you to utilize Project XCloud without a more expensive device like an Xbox One X, but it's very likely that they also might allow you to just simply download an app for your Xbox One to virtually upgrade it using cloud gaming technologies. That time will only tell to see how this fully rolls out in the future though. We do know that all three versions of these Scarlett devices are expected to launch in 2020, but the XCloud is expected to get some early testing in 2019. We don't really have a time frame for when testing will begin, but we are expected to be able to get our hands on it in 2019 for some early testing. In terms of hardware, we really don't know much about the technical specs for Project XCloud. In fact, it's still the early days, so even if we had some early leaks about what they're testing right now, it's very likely that those specs would change by the time this is ready for full release. Because we are looking at, once again, a 2020 release. So that probably means late 2020 so that it can launch for the holiday season. So with that in mind, and speaking of launching Project XCloud to the masses, it will be running, as expected for any Microsoft product, it will be running in Azure data centers. This has a couple interesting implications. The first of which, there are 54 Azure data centers spread across the world. What this means is the more data centers that you have, it increases the chance that you're going to be close to a data center, which is going to decrease the latency that you will experience, which is definitely good news for cloud gaming. The second of which is Microsoft has all these data centers, and they have internet pipe to them, so they have one of the huge stepping stones already completed for rolling out a cloud gaming service. So once they get the hardware built up and are ready to roll this out to the masses, they should be able to roll it out very quickly and make it a worldwide service if they so choose to on a very rapid basis. The final aspect of Project XCloud that I want to discuss in today's video is their unique approach to the streaming technology. This is probably the most unique and interesting aspect of XCloud, and it's possibly going to be their weapon that they're going to be able to wield that's going to make them the titan of cloud gaming. If it all pans out as it could, it will be a massive advantage for Project XCloud. So Microsoft's CEO, Nadella, actually mentioned that Microsoft was in a unique position for their cloud gaming technology. This is because they have two different aspects that they can combine to make a very good service. The first of which is community. We have seen cloud gaming providers out there that have strong communities. For instance, NVIDIA's GeForce Now has a community built around their GPUs, people that enjoy using their GPUs and are very loyal to them. We also have Sony with their PlayStation Now experience, with people that have built a community around their PlayStation devices. So we can see that some providers out there are taking advantage of their existing communities to build a very solid cloud gaming experience and draw upon those existing communities to bolster numbers. Microsoft also has cloud experience, where this is similar to services out there such as Project Stream, which is an initiative by Google to utilize their data centers to make cloud gaming a reality. So Microsoft has both aspects. They have a community, they have the Xbox consoles, they have Xbox Live. They've been generating and building these communities for 3 generations now. We also have a lot of expertise in Microsoft with their data centers. I think they're 2 or 3 in terms of the largest cloud providers out there. Of course, Amazon AWS is definitely up there at number 1. But I think Microsoft's Azure data centers are very close in number 2 or possibly 3. I haven't looked for a little while since I've done some research in cloud technology, so my numbers might be slightly off. But I definitely do know that both Microsoft and Google are very high up there in the rankings in terms of cloud hardware providers. So I think this kind of unique combination of community and cloud expertise put Microsoft in a good situation for developing their streaming technology. And where their approach is unique is the fact that most services out there, or all services that I've tested at least, simply take your input and transmit that to the cloud. So that whether that's your mouse movement, your keyboard inputs, your button presses, your joystick movements, they're taking those and transmitting those to the cloud, and then the cloud is doing all the computational work and then transmitting those frames back over the internet. So this takes all the graphical load, all the computational load off of your local computer. Where Microsoft's approach is unique and could possibly be a huge advantage to them is they're not only taking the input, but they're also determining collisions locally and then letting the cloud do all the graphical work. So you don't have to have a good GPU, but you are going to need possibly a somewhat beefy CPU to determine collisions. Where this means in terms of uniqueness though, this could phase out some of the aspects of having a higher latency that bring down cloud gaming to a not perfect solution, especially if you don't have a great internet connection. If you have a fiber internet connection or a very strong cable connection, you'll probably have a good experience, especially if the data center is somewhat close. But if you have a slower DSL or trying to game off of 4G, you're probably not going to have as good as an experience. So with all that being said, detecting the collisions locally could make this a very good short-term solution until our internet infrastructure is built up in the background. And 5G is something that could possibly help solve this, but only time will tell, and we'll have to do some testing once 5G fully rolls out here in the future. So this unique approach is very cool, very interesting. I'm very interested to see how it works, and if it works just as well as I think it might work, but it could put Microsoft in a unique position, at least in the short term, as we're still trying to roll these services out to the mainstream markets. Thanks for watching today's video, guys. I definitely appreciate that. Project XCloud is definitely looking like it could shape up to be a very interesting contender in the upcoming years. Hopefully I'll be able to get some testing and hands-on time with Project XCloud once they launch their beta testing next year, and we'll be able to share those experiences with you guys. Once again, guys, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, give it a big like. I greatly appreciate that. Also, if you're not already an existing subscriber, make sure to smash that subscribe button to stay tuned for more great videos from Provoking Tech. Thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, Zach out.